We learn to trust God by what we fear most. We learn to trust God by what we fear most. I want you to think right now, very personally, in your own life, what do you fear the most in your life? What are you afraid of? Some of you may be walking through it right now. Let me tell you, I had about 3 big things that I was terrified of. One was that something horrendous would happen to one of my children. One was that my marriage would fall apart. And one was that my health wouldn't hold up. And I have walked through all 3 of those fears. The absolute enemy to surrender is a nasty little word called excuses. What if Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had chosen excuses instead of settled belief? Maybe they would have sounded something like this. We will bow down, but we won't actually worship the idol. Anybody ever said that? I want you to pretend like this plant is Bobby. All right? This is Bobby. Now, when we first got married and the first, years of our marriage, I started to realize that he was annoying. He didn't do things the way I did them. And he processed things different than I did. And he sort of just saw things in different ways than I did. And so I thought to myself, I think it's my job to fix him up a little bit. So I took myself and I started looking and I said, there's some brown leaves in here. So things like, you just don't talk to me anymore. You used to always talk and now you don't really talk. And, what is up with ESPN? I'm so sick of that on TV all the time. You know what? You used to be so romantic. Now, all we talk about is baseball. What about the Bible? For goodness sakes, if you read the Bible as much as you read the sports page, you'd be so spiritual. So here I go, little cuts. Then I realized, you know what? This just isn't really doing it. Let me pull out the big guns. Okay, so then it's more like, why don't you help with the kids? Why do you always have to travel? You are never romantic. All you want is. Okay? You're not leading us spiritually. What is wrong with you? You need to change. Now, I have a twig for a husband. How many people, because I know I have ever felt in your life like you pray, but you wonder, are you hearing me, God? And you know he is because you know that the Bible says he does and everybody tells you that he does. But does it ever just feel like your prayers are just sort of evaporating after they come from your mouth? Has anyone ever felt like that? And he came and he took it out of the right hand of him who sat on the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having each one a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. Friends, I want you to see something. I made this for us. And this is a golden bowl. Okay, and if I could burn incense in here, I would. Because this is what your prayer looks like. Every single thing you utter to God looks like this in a golden bowl filled with gold and shimmering. And it comes up to God's nostril, and it is so pleasant, and it is so great to him. And it sits right here to your Father.